when everybody agrees on something, they're probably expensive. And when everything is hated and you think it's the worst, everybody, then it's probably cheap. And people confuse the fact that, let's say, a good company is not a better investment than a bad company, any more than the horse in the horse race. You know, that the worst performing horse has odds that are much higher if he comes in. And so because of that, you have to know what to look for in those things. But I don't think that I think you have to be careful about that and diversify well, you know, and beware of fads, you know. But if you diversify well, you know, it'll be easier and better, because it's very difficult also to distinguish a fad from a new reality. You know, is crypto a new reality or is it a fad? Is this technology thing, you know, a new reality or a fad? You know, those can be difficult to decide. So, you know, go back to the diversification.
And have you updated your view on crypto now that many of these...
Well, yes, but I think I'd rather not get... I can get into it, but we want to talk about the life cycle and the other parts of the book, I think, because I want to help people with their principles. I mean, but everybody's interested in crypto and you know, but I don't know that we should. Do you think we should digress into that?
Can you give us, I think people will be so curious. I think it's worth giving a sort of 2 or 3 sentence synopsis of a brief view of whether you think there's anything there, or whether you've kind of come to think, no, I don't think there's much there.
Well, there's a technology, the blockchain technology, which I think is an excellent technology. And I think it's very important to distinguish it from a digital currency. And if we're dealing with digital currencies, let's use Bitcoin as an example. You know, there are all sorts of things. There's stablecoin and blah, 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 all sorts of things. But by and large, let's talk about Bitcoin. Now, first of all, I believe we're in an environment in which we're creating a lot of debt and the money as we know it, and financial assets such as debt assets, which is just a commitment to receive a lot of money. I think we're in an environment that's not going to be a good environment, and people will want to look for alternative storeholds of wealth than those in alternative money. Having said that, like all the digital currencies, basically don't replicate anything. They move up and down for all. It's not like it's tied to it's an inflation hedge or it's this and that. It's mostly, so it's not an effective storehold of wealth. You almost have nothing to hang your hat on, and it's tiny. Bitcoin right now probably has a total value of maybe a quarter of what Microsoft stock is, and so on. So it becomes a preoccupation by people that is disproportionate with its true reality. I mean, why study that? There's so many things, so many different investments that you can study. And it's as a storehold of wealth, there's not privacy to it. There may be privacy from the public, but you know, it's very easy. Everybody's tracking what you're doing on it and so on. So it's not private. And as a medium of exchange, it's not very effective. It's not like you can go there and easily buy stuff with it. You can buy some stuff with it, but not much. So it wouldn't be my favorite storehold of wealth. I mean, I own a tiny bit of it just because of the element of, you know, who knows, and it could be there, but I'm not, and also to experience what it's like. But I do think that in time, there will be better digital currencies. Like I believe that you can create a digital currency that will give you the equivalent of the inflation rate. And that's buying power. Because I believe that most currencies or most debt instruments, which are, as I say, they're a promise to receive currency over the duration of them, I think that they will have poor returns relative to inflation, where I think you could get something that'll be a good digital currency, but they don't have it now. And so many things have sort of come and gone as fads, NFTs, and, this coin and that coin and so on. So anyway, that's what I think about it. But again, I don't want them to tactically make the decisions because things become cheaper at the same time. So cautious means just constantly diversify well. But yeah, one of the things that I've learned is that many things that have surprised me because they never happened in my lifetime before, but they happened many times in history. It's just like a pandemic or a big debt crisis. What happened in 2008 was the same thing that happened, in 1933.